Ready, set.
Coach Trent Dilfer. Those will open up the season against North Carolina A&T on August 31st. Coach, if you don't mind, give us an opening statement on being here and the season ahead.
Yeah.
And then we will open up the questions.
Well, first, thanks for having me. Excited. You know, my football life's been a long one, 42 years. I started 8 years old in the back of a blocking sled and never really had any aspirations of being a college coach or an NFL coach, and my journey's taken me here, so I'm really excited about it. I love the people I'm working with. I think to me football has always been a relationship business, and the first thing you have to do is surround yourself with people better than you. I feel like I did that with the staff. I really feel like you have to connect with kids at a deep level. I believe we've done that with the kids that were on the roster from last year and also the ones we brought in through the high school recruiting and portal recruiting. And we're excited about the journey. You know, if there's anything I've learned in football, it's we get way too caught up, mainly because the people that sit at those desks about the destination. And the greatest thing about football is the journey you go on when you play it. And we're excited about this journey we're about to go on as Blazer Nation. So with that, I'll take some questions. Yeah.
Hi, Coach. Mitch Lucas. I'm from the Kilgore News Herald here.
Hi, Mitch.
And from footballleague.com. Obviously, followed your career back to Fresno State up until now. You've been around a lot.
Man, you're old.
I am old. You've been around a lot of dynamic personalities.
Yeah.
And a lot of smart football people. From Brian Billick and Ray Lewis and all those people. But can you tell me, early on, can you tell me though, what has been your, you might not be able to answer this, what has been your biggest challenge in this new challenge in your career?
Well, I appreciate what you said. 12 Hall of Famers I think I played with. I played with multiple Hall of Fame coaches or played for. And I've tried to kind of learn from all of them. The people that know me well would tell you I'm a learner. You know, I enjoy learning. I enjoy growing as a football person. So I've taken all that and then answer the second part of the question, or to answer the actual question is, football is challenging. Okay, so let's have a baseline. Like right now, the narrative is, oh, college football is crazy, right? Everybody doesn't know what to do. Well, no, football's just hard, right? Football was hard when I played it in high school. Football was hard in college. Football is hard in the NFL. You know, I watch these coaches. It's just a very, very hard game. Not just physically, but all the other stuff that goes with it. So this is no harder than football's ever been. It's different. It's different for the guys that have been doing it. And I think I have a distinct advantage. I haven't been doing it. So they have an old model, right? They have an old model that's been disrupted. And they're like, holy crap, our little blankie, college football, that we knew how to manipulate has now been stolen from us. How do I go to sleep at night? And I'm like, I don't have blankie. This is what I rolled into. Like, I only know this college football. And I've told my staff, I don't want to hear about the old college football. Don't tell me the old stories. Don't tell me the way Ryan Day did it, or Nick Saban did it, or Shane Beamer did it, or whoever did it. Because that's not this year. This year's different than last year. So let's collectively come together and find a way that we're going to do it. Because there's no freaking problems in our building. There's only solutions. So I don't want to hear about the challenges of college football. Football is hard. It just is hard at every single level. This is a new hard for them. It's the present hard for me. Yes.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Given your unconventional path to becoming a head coach at the college level, do you think you're going to receive a little bit more scrutiny than your average Group of Five or Power Five first-year head coach?
Absolutely.
How do you prepare to deal with it? I mean, you've been a media guy, you're really good at it, so how do you prepare to deal with that kind of, there's going to be a double standard, good or bad, so how do you prepare to deal with that?
I don't want this to sound wrong. It's going to, so I'll just go for it. I don't care what you think, what he thinks, what Tom Herman thinks, what Nick Saban thinks. I don't care. I care what Jacob Zeno thinks, what Jackson Bratton thinks. I go to bed every night thinking about what they think about. I care about what my coaches think. I care about what my AD thinks, our marketing director, Joe Maloof at Full Moon Barbecue, our sponsors. Like, I care deeply about what our tribe thinks about me and how I'm serving them. But I honestly do not care at all what is written about me, what's said about me, what's people in the hallway, whether they look at me, whether they like me, what they talk about their wives about me. I just don't care. You know, I've been in the spotlight for so long. I've been booed out of stadiums. I'm known as the worst quarterback that's ever won a Super Bowl. You know, I've woken up in the morning after saying something on ESPN and half the country hates you and half the country thinks you're their hero. I've been fired. I've had 4 careers. I just don't care. And I think there's freedom in that. There's also freedom in not needing the job. There's also freedom knowing that, you know, I didn't have to do this. I was so happy at Lipscomb Academy. Like, couldn't be any happier. It was my wife that said, no, you need another challenge. Like, you need to climb another mountain. You're getting bored. So you put all that into context, and yeah, absolutely, I think, and they should. I didn't do it the hard way. I wasn't a GA, right? I didn't then become an analyst, and I wasn't a position group. I didn't have my own room. You know, that's a big thing in college football. I got a room, right? I didn't coordinate. So how in the hell can I be a college head coach? I don't know. Somehow I'm here, and, you know, my journey's been different than theirs, and I frankly don't care. If they like or dislike, then I'm here.
Trey Smith with College Game Time. Coach, will you talk about your offensive coordinator to kind of piggyback off the first question? Sounds like you're establishing your own blueprint with your program, and in my opinion, you've got one of the best secrets in college football as far as coaching is concerned with what he's been doing. Could you just talk about how he's adjusted to working on your staff in the role that he's in?
Alex Mortensen, who you're talking about. Yeah, Alex is a guy that a lot of people have tried to hire away from Nick for years. Don't know why in the heck he chose to come to me. Again, high school head football coach, didn't do it the right way, you know, didn't pay my dues. But I've known Alex a long time. I work closely with his dad. You know, one of the coolest things about the Elite 11 was the interaction with the college coach. The college GA, the college analyst, and the college coach, both position, coordinator, and head coach. So for years I was vetting. For those who don't know me, I'm a planner. So whether I thought I was going to coach or not, I was planning as if I would. So if I ever did, I'd be prepared for it. So I had a portfolio of coaches, probably 150 deep, that I'd been vetting over years. My 2 favorite offensive guys happen to be in this conference. One I hired, Alex Mortensen, the other one Tom hired, and Charlie Fry. So, you know, I was very strategic in going out and hiring the staff, and as a flyer, I called Alex. I'm like, I know you're not going to say yes, but I got to make the call, and, you know, kind of the woe is me. And he goes, no, coach, I'm actually very interested. I'm like, really? Okay, this is cool. So as we went down the road, started talking more philosophically what we wanted to build, what we were dealing with, other position coaches, how we saw the offensive line coach, how we saw the receiver coach, how we saw the tight end coach, how we saw putting together the offensive staff. Very simpatico in how we look at the game. And then, you know, I'm not a system guy. I don't believe in systems. But from an XO standpoint, we have the same belief system. So we've worked very well together. He's done an incredible job. I knew how good he was XO. I knew how good he was organizationally. I knew how good he was with people, his staff. What I did know is how good he was players. And that's been like, holy smokes. Like, this guy's truly a unicorn. And to watch him interact with our players, you can ask Jacob, like as a teacher, as a communicator, as a nurturer. You know, the one thing about our staff is we really care about the kid. The kid has problems, like we want to be there for him. I've watched Alex just engage and connect with kids that probably aren't difference maker players, but he values them the same as humans. Has just been a joy. I'm not going to have him very long. Like, that's just the fact of the matter. Like, he's going to be one of the superstars in college football here rather quickly. But I'm sure glad I have him now.
Any other questions for Coach?
You see the strategy there, how I talk more so I get less questions?
I like that. I like that.
Experienced media guy here.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, one more, actually.
Obviously, a few we're very open about other coaches trying to poach players out of the transfer portal who weren't even in there at the begin with. Just, you know, how do you continue to see this era of football, especially with that continue to evolve? And you know, is that something that you'll stick to, that, you know, knowing all the people that you know, that you will call someone out for, you know, bending the rules?
Well, I just was on Sirius XM. I said at the American Conference meetings to our coaches, I didn't say much, by the way. I wasn't one of those new coaches who want to talk a whole lot. I did a lot of listening, but I did say this. I'm like, you know, again, I don't have problems in my building. I only have solutions. Here's one of the solutions. Be proactive about this. Go after it. Don't be scared, right? It's cheating. To coerce a player off a roster, whether you do it through a third person, whether you do it through an agent, a collective, no matter how you do it, is cheating, okay? It's against the rules. So let's go attack that. Now, if one of my players, say Jacob after this year, All-American, says, Coach, I got to go explore what I can get in free agency. Great, Jacob, go enter the portal. He enters the portal, fair game. Like, yeah, recruit him, pay him, do whatever you can. But don't come in, don't have a scouting department in your building that's doing cut-ups of my players and then going and coercing them to enter the portal when they had no idea they didn't want to enter the portal. That's the problem I'm addressing. And I'm not going to stop. I have DMs, I have WhatsApps, I have text messages, I have IP addresses, and I am doing everything in my power to make sure they know, don't screw with my roster. Now, when they're in the portal, great, do your thing. That's modern day college football, but don't you dare start using that high school, because I know the high school coach too now. I was one. So you think you're so cool, oh, let's go work through Mark Freeman at Thompson to get this guy. I know Mark. You know, let's go, whoever, at whatever school. I know that guy. So I can just call him and say, yo, did so-and-so Power 5 school call you about having so-and-so enter the portal? Yeah, I did, Coach. Huh, that's interesting. Can I please have that text message? So that's the strategy. You want to know my playbook? That's my playbook. I'm going after it. I'm attacking it. I'm being proactive about it because I can't match the money. I'm not going to go raise $16 million for a collective, but I can make you scared to death to mess with my players. Because, by the way, tomorrow afternoon I'm meeting with the NCAA head of NIL. So I'm being proactive and I'm taking these meetings and I'm working at the highest levels to make sure that you don't come toying around with my roster. All right?
Thank you, Coach.